Well, let's get more on this now with Abdullah Baabood, the chair of the State of Qatar for Islamic Area Studies and a visiting professor at Waseda University. He joins us now from Tokyo. Really good to have you with us, Professor. Firstly, it's been described as unprecedented in terms of Saudi Arabia's detailed rejection of Joe Biden's threats of consequences in retaliation for OPEC's decision to cut oil supply. Are you surprised by what's unfolded, by the backlash we've seen both from Washington and Riyadh?
Well, it might surprise many people who are following the relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia in particular, and the U.S. and the Gulf states in general. But for people who are very close to following this relationship, it's become no surprise. The relationship between Saudi Arabia and Washington has been deteriorating over the last few months, and especially because of President Biden's policy towards Saudi Arabia and calling Saudi Arabia a pariah state, and then he was refusing to meet with the Crown Prince. Then and now Prime Minister MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. So the relationship between the two at a personal level is not that great. And also there is an issue with the way that United States is treating Saudi Arabia, did not stand with it while it was subjected to attacks by the Houthis, and also because of the relationship with Iran and the negotiation for the nuclear deal, the P5+1. So Saudi Arabia is very upset with the new president, with Biden and his administration. And it comes at no surprise that this is something that has been expected, that things will go from bad to worse within this relationship.
Yes, and in terms of OPEC, the OPEC group of oil-producing nations, Saudi Arabia has always been its de facto leader because it is the world's largest oil-producing nation. And the cartel has really sought to control oil prices for decades now. But Qatar, which is also an oil-producing nation, made the decision to withdraw from OPEC back in 2019 after 60 years as a part of that organization. What relevance does OPEC have now in this day and age, especially at a time when we're both seeing a desperate need for these fossil fuels, but we're also seeing a transition away from oil and gas?
Well, it seems that OPEC and OPEC Plus are gaining strength because of the circumstances surrounding the Russian invasion of the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine, and also of the ongoing war, the Russian-Ukraine war. So the oil-producing states are gaining weight because there has been more need for energy, given, of course, the cut that we've had in the sanctions on Russian energy exports, particularly to Europe. So OPEC is becoming quite powerful nowadays. It seems that it is throwing its weight around, and Saudi Arabia is a major producer and to a certain extent has a major influence on oil policy. And it seems that they're getting Saudi Arabia and Russia, having had their own conflict in the last year or so, they seem to be getting on together, working closer in terms of determining supply and the level of supply and determining the oil price, which is needed, obviously, for the Gulf states and the oil-producing states in the Gulf to meet their own budgets and also for their own development plans. But it is seen that it is maybe something that is helping the Russian president, Putin, in his war effort. So it is read wrongly, or it's read in that context within the United States. But it seems that OPEC is now in control. It seems that OPEC is working together, especially within this arrangement of OPEC Plus that includes Russia. and having Russia and Saudi Arabia within this organization, and they're two largest oil producers, they seem that they are, in a way, having big influence on oil production and oil price and the
Yes.
future of oil, at least for the time being.
Okay, Abdullah Baabood, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us on the program.